Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with the updated version of Golgari tokens. This is kind of my go-to deck if I were going to be playing in Grand Prix Denver. Unfortunately, I can no longer go to Grand Prix Denver. This would be the deck that I'd run. Have a phenomenal win percentage with this deck. Only one league has gone less than 3-2 with a bunch of 4-1 finish. Still have yet to get that 5-0 finish. Let's just go over the matchups with green. Well, first of all, let me talk about what this deck tries to do. This is a Westvale Abbey deck. The deck 100% revolves around this card. You can do some turn 5 kills. I think turn 4 is possible with the perfect hand. But you want to have a Zulaport Cutthroat out as quickly as possible, and enough creatures to then go Westvale Abbey, sack everything in Westvale Abbey, do 5 damage. If you've done even more damage, if you get your opponent down to 14 life, between the Westvale Abbey Zulaport Cutthroat combo, that is going to be 14 life. And even if Westvale Abbey just happens to trigger off without a Zulaport Cutthroat, a lot of times with a Night Market look at, you've got them down to 18, and it's just 2 swings with Westvale Abbey. So Westvale Abbey is actually very, very good in the format right now. A lot of people aren't running ways to deal with it, with the exception of UI Flash. They run Stasis Snare and Declaration of Stone and Reflector Mage. But other than that matchup, the majority of the matchups do not have a great way to handle Westvale Abbey. If you get it out versus Grixis Control, unless they have 2 of the Slaughters in the sideboard, you're going to win. If you get it out versus, I guess they have Thing in the Ice to bounce it back, but usually you don't run it into Thing in the Ice. We'll talk about that matchup later. Versus Green-Black Delirium, a lot of them don't run 2 of the Slaughter. Right now it's just Grasp of Darkness and Murder, and a few Ruinous Paths here and there, and none of those can kill the Westvale Abbey, as it does have Indestructible. And it's just a very, very solid card in the metagame right now. The go-wide strategy also seems to be really good. We have people that are just super focused on killing Smugglers Copters, that they have a lot of single target removal in the form of Fiery Tempers, Unlicensed Disintegrations, Grasp of Darknesses, Murders, Stasis Snares, those type of cards. And so when you put out cards like Catacomb Sifter and gives them 2 targets to have to work with, then it's hard to shut down your ability to crew a Copter, and it's also hard to just shut down trying to get off of Westvale Abbey. So basically I run, as the other sack outlet in the deck is going to be Voldaren Pariah. I only like 2 of now. I had 4 of at one point, but 2 of seems to be the right number. You want to see 1. You'd never want to see more than 1 in most matchups. So 2 statistically seems to be where you want to see that. 3 Nissas is about right. You want to see 1 per game, and statistically that's what you're going to see with 3. And the rest of them are going to be, most of these cards in the deck are going to be a 4 of. Grasp of Darkness is just insanely powerful right now versus the Grim Flayer and anything out of U-White Flash, Spellquellers, Reflector Mages, Avacyn, all get killed by a Grasp of Darkness. The Night Market Lookout is the best 1-drop. I've thought about other cards here. We had Loam Dryad in here before, but Blisterpod, Night Market Lookout, and 6 of them seems to be the right number. So this deck actually is more like 27 creatures because of the Smuggler's Copters. And then everything like the Weaponcraft Enthusiast is making 3, the Catacomb Sifter is making 2, and the Marionette Master is making 4. The Marionette Master usually comes out in every game. It's usually good in very specific matchups, but it's not bad versus any matchup, but it's not incredibly good versus any matchup. So it's kind of the definition of a card that you want in your main that then gets sideboarded out. So it's just too slow a lot of the times against after you're gonna bring in specific cards. Like most decks, you're either gonna bring in Ruinous Path or Transgress the Minds or Liliana, so they're coming in. So you need something to come out, and it's usually the Blisterpods and the Marionette Masters that come out, because again, these are good versus every matchup. Every single matchup they're not going to be dead cards against, so they're great for the main, but usually there's something better to replace in the sideboard. So against a heavy control-based deck, you bring in 4 Transgresses, take out the 2 Marionette Masters and the Blisterpods, possibly take out the Voldaren Pariahs and bring in 2 Lost Legacies. So there's the package that comes there. Versus U-White Flash, for example, you're bringing in Ruinous Path because it kills Gideon. You're also going to bring in Transgress the Minds because you need to get Avacyn and Gideon. Without Avacyn and Gideon, their deck is completely terrible, versus we're going to start outclassing them as the game progresses. We just have to keep Gideon off the board and have to keep Avacyn off the board. So you have Grasp of Darknesses and Transgress the Mind to do that. Deadweights are really in here for the energy matchup. The energy matchup can be a little bit rough. So the Deadweight kills off the 2-2 that generates mana. It also kills off the 3-2 that turns into a 4-3 when it attacks. It kills off the Electrostatic Pummeler. And then they can't even pump it in response, because then by it goes to their turn, it will die. So I like 2 of Deadweights in the sideboard specifically for that matchup. And Kalitas is just very versatile versus like vehicles. It's good versus black black-red or zombies and vampires if people play that vampire deck. And it's very good against the... Even, I bring it in versus like Delirium, just because usually the rough draw is if they have a Liliana and can get back like an Ishkanah, sometimes like I've had to fight through like 5 or 6 Ishkanahs on one game with a Westvale Abbey flipped over, and so Kalitas kind of prevents that from happening. It just gets rid of that card forever, gets rid of any card for the value off Liliana. Green-black seems to be a pretty decent matchup. They have to get ideal draws. It's a second turn Grim Flayer draw into a third turn Liliana that can be tough, or just Grim Flayer into removal for your own Smugglers. Copter can be a little bit rough, but other than that, I think that we're pretty well matched up against Green Black Delirium. Very good against you White Flash, because Grasp of Darkness is a very key card versus that matchup. And the rest of the decks, we can just go over the top of them, like the energy decks and the vehicle decks and the other aggro decks. We spread the board very, very wide, and then Westvale Abbey just takes those games over. So again, I've got a pretty decent win percentage. You can come over here and let's just go to the game history. Some of these moderns, let's just format type standard only. Jeez, I really have to uncheck all. Is there no uncheck all? All right, that's probably enough. So this will show you the more recent matchups here. 3-2 finish here, a 4-1 finish here, a 3-2 finish. No, 4-1 finish there as well, I think. So 2 4-1s in a row. Is that what I'm looking at? Win, 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 loss, win, 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 win. But they're lost there. Anyway, this is my last. I think this was actually playing Gear Hulk here. These bad losses, but most of the leagues, yeah, the 2-man queues are mainly Gear Hulk. The leagues are mainly the. So here's another 4-1 finish right here in that run. Another 3-2 finish, 3-2 finish. Went on a pretty good streak here in the 2-man queues with one. Yeah, a lot more in the win bracket. My constructed rating is pretty subpar, but that's because I play bad decks for playing on a budget and the Rogue's Alley and Gathering Magic. Usually, lately, like this week, I went terrible. Went 1-4 with the deck that I played for Rogue's Alley, and that of course impacts the constructed rating. But when I got up to 1800 with the Cryptolith Rite, which is pretty decent with the black green. Once you're 1800, you really have to have a high win percentage to get from the 1800 to the 1900 rating. But I think that if I were to play this and not interrupt it with a bunch of like more jank decks that I like to play on other channels and whatnot, then the constructed rating, of course, would have a higher constructed rating. So anywho, that's the basis of the deck. Nothing too fancy here. You're just really trying to react. This is a deck that tries to put pressure but still react to what your opponent's doing. The Zulaport Cutthroat remains to be a very, very strong card, especially in this very aggressive format where people are trying to outdamage you. The Night Market Lookout and Zulaport Cutthroat really put you above. Yeah, so I thought about maybe, like, when this deck first started, it was heavy into the Fabricate. I ran 4 Marionette Masters, a higher land count, 24 lands, and even Loam Dryads and Cryptolith Rites to try to get me the Marionette Master. That's still a very, very good strategy, but I kind of took that strategy out because the format got too fast for Marionette Master. So I think Grasp of Darkness are a must in this deck, and then the more removal in the sideboard is also a must. So if you have any questions, just put it in the comment section below. And this is actually post the deck series. I'm not going to spoil it, what happened. I think you can see what happened when I just went over to the game history. But I think if I'd make any changes, I think the Foul Orchards need to be replaced with like Aether Hubs. I just don't like the Foul Orchards. They just, too many comes into play tap because, excuse me, Blooming Marsh comes into play tap a lot of the time. Hissing Quagmire always comes into play tap, and then Foul Orchard always will come into play tap too. So we want some more untapped mana sources. So I think the best way to do this is just go hubs, and just probably 2 of them is the right number for the deck. And I don't have any other way to generate energy though, so that's where I don't think that I really don't think that the land that you can tap a creature to tap a mana would be the right one either. I think it would be hub, or just instead of Foul Orchards. The problem is though that we have too many. I think it would be just swamps instead of Foul Orchard. because usually it's the swamps I need to hit, a 3 of and a 2 of for 3 of for Voldaren Paraiah's Madness, a 2 of for Grass of Darkness. Not hitting Nissa or Blisterpod or Cryptolith Rite is not the worst scenario. Catacomb Sifter sometimes not, but usually the Smuggler's Copter with black can be activated, so I think I'm just going to bring in some swamps. I haven't liked the Foul Orchards, and Evolving Wilds is just inferior to Foul Orchard as well, in my opinion, so I think it's just all swamps. It still gives us plenty of green sources. We have the 12 green sources in the deck, and then that puts us back up to 12, 13, 14, 15 black sources. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. Those Foul Orchards just... Every time I do this, though, then I go back to the Foul Orchards because I'm like, I needed to have a dual land there. Otherwise, it's not going into the first turn, comes into play tapped, to then be able to cast... a Grass of Darkness into Cryptolith Rite, for example. But I think that Cryptolith Rite, Nissa, and Blisterpod are not necessary to hit right off the bat, whereas Night Market Lookout, Grass of Darkness, Smugglers, Copters are more relevant to hit. I don't know. Well, let's try to do some more testing, more math on this, and maybe Hub is just the right thing because we need more untapped. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Comment section below. I'll try to get back to them. A little update, I'm going to try to get more serious on the channel. You're seeing a full gameplay series. I hope you appreciate that. As well as I have a Commander series I'm almost done with. I appreciate all the patrons that have subscribed to the Patreon. And a few people have done the Commander video. So I'm going to try to get that done. I know I didn't get it done for October. November, I'm going to try to... I have a goal to have November be one of my best view count and subscriber count for the Rogue deck builder. So I appreciate if you spread the word, get your friends interested. If you have any suggestions for what you want me to do, that's a great way to, just in the comment section below, have that suggestion. Go check out the Patreon and see what you think about it. We need to clean it up and kind of mess around with the tiers because it's not working as properly. I'm going to get my web guy on it, and we're going to try to hit that hard probably tonight. And I appreciate all the support too, because this is something I'm going to try to focus on more. Especially, I'm really committed to swim season. This will be my last year, probably, of coaching. And so I want to kind of go out with a bang with this season. And then after that, we're definitely going to look at expanding the shop, expanding the Rogue Deck Builder brand, and see if it can be a viable thing. Because I enjoy doing it. And as long as I enjoy doing it, that's everything in life. To do what you like to do. And I like interacting with the community and just brewing decks. So if it is plausible and possible, I want to get a team together. I actually want to go travel around and just really represent Rogue decks because I think we're back into this nasty spike mentality of only playing tier 1 decks. I was very, very frustrated with my own local game store because I sit down, I'm playing a fun deck, sit down, and guy number 1, which was Zach of all people, he claims that he's a big Rogue decker, my business partner Zach, copy and paste Green Black Delirium and plays it. So we have someone playing the second best deck right now. Then we have another guy playing New White Flash, copy and paste completely, no innovation, nothing. Exact same deck lists that are being played online. And then we have another person on Red White Tokens, exact copy and paste of the Red White Tokens that took 4th place at the Pro Tour, had the best win record, 8-0-2 I believe in the or 9-0-2. Yeah, 9-0-2 because they play. No, it's 11. Yeah, 8-0-2, wasn't he? Because they play 10 matchups of Constructed. So is that one completely copy and paste of that list. And then we have another guy on the complete copy and paste list of red-white tokens. Or red-white vehicles. And I'm like, geez, this is just ridiculous. It's F&M. You're supposed to have fun at F&M. Part of Magic is brewing. Part of the whole Magic experience, in my opinion, is trying to come up with creative ideas, kind of having your own unique... That's why I play, and I'm just so frustrated that I built a local game store called Gone Rogue Games when we should have called it Gone Spike Games, because that's all I have is Spike players in my damn little local meta, which is, whatever. People can play however they want to play. I actually, my whole goal of Rogue Deck Builder is to build Rogue decks that can compete with the metagame, can compete with the spikes. So, yes, I do like having established metagame because it gives me a way to actually attack it. And I think the black-green, in that metagame that I just talked about with Green, Black, Delirium, U-White, Flash, vehicles, I did win the game day, pretty handedly win the game day. My only loss was actually against just stumbling. And then game number 2, I just played the fun Gear Hulk deck and got wrecked by vehicles. But I don't know. I think that since I won the first game day, I didn't want to, kind of spike it up for the second game day and let, someone else have an opportunity to win. And it was taken down with red-white vehicles, which I did lose to get knocked out. But anywho, I am very rambling with that. But anyway, what I wanted to say is I really want to get the Rogue Deck Builder brand out there again. I know I go on the huge spurts of productivity and then you don't hear from me for a while. Then I go on huge spurts of productivity and then you don't hear from me a while. That's just my personality. That's just how I am kind of attention isn't the greatest of keeping attention to one project at a time. I like to just venture off and do multiple things. And right now it's just I've been really focused on the whole coaching and the getting back in shape and whatnot. So that's coming along well. Maybe I'll show a picture of my transformation. Used to be a huge part of my life was physical activity, sports. I'm not a huge fan of sports in the whole mindset that most people are, but I do like, personal accountability and personal progress and just being in shape and healthy, and huge fan of in psychology and positive psychology. We studied a lot of Eastern philosophy in positive psychology. It's a huge focal point. And one of the huge things in Eastern philosophy is kind of the mind-body-spirit connection. That if you are lacking in one of the areas, the others are going to suffer. So as far as so you need to be active, intellectually active with your mind. You need to always be trying to progress as a person intellectually. And then same thing with your body. Your mind cannot be clear and concise and well thought out processes if your body is just completely out of shape and unhealthy. And then if you're not taking time out of your day to have fun and entertain and live life, smell the roses, then you're just going to be a mess of a person as well. So Eastern philosophy is all about really finding a balance between those. And I think that's where I need to find with my own life. And that's why I really love Magic the Gathering. And if I can make a nice little career out of it as well, out of I sometimes get so frustrated. If you want to see that, go watch this week's Rogues Alley over at Gathering Magic, where I literally, after the series, I was so on tilt. I'm like, I'm done with Magic. I am absolutely done. And so I closed out of Magic, queued up Dota, and then all the ragers on Dota convinced me that Magic is actually a nice place to go, as I can just play by myself. I don't have to have teammates. So in gaming, which is a pet peeve of mine, is sometimes when teammates just get the unnecessary blame shifting, which is what I don't like about games like MOBAs. Now I've really rambled. You got a bonus ramble. Let me know in the comment section below what you'd like to see with RogueDeckBuilder.com. I really appreciate all the Patrons, even though we haven't officially launched the Patreon. That's another thing that I do want to try to get funding for. I want sleeves, so if we do have a traveling team, we want to get jerseys and sleeves and playmats and all those lovely things. I do this for the community. I don't want to make a $1 billion. Living comfortably is just where my goal is to be. If I can, pay my bills and do Magic the Gathering as a full-time thing without all any other distractions, that'd be awesome. That'd be the goal that I want to go to. If not, then yeah, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing and just have business as usual, kind of the same casual type of releases on YouTube and interaction with the community. So huge shout out to all the fans. The 25,000 was huge. We just passed 4 million views as well. I'm going to really shoot for 5 as quickly as possible and see if November can be a great month. It's been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.